Good evening, viewers, and you're welcome to the program Stock and Shares. On the program this evening, realizing that we just have 3 trading days to the end of the month of November, and with the month of November still standing at a positive of about 2%, though in terms of yield to date, as far as the market is concerned, year on year, still negative at 14. Should the month of November finish positive, that also means that the month of November will be reversing the drop that was posted in 2018 for the month of November, and also reversing the loss that was also posted in the month of October in 2019. But that didn't stop the market from going down today, because in going down, we also had a situation where the market went down by 0.56%. With 17 companies apiece on both sides of the divide. But also of note is the happening as far as the Monetary Policy Committee's position at the end of a 2-day meeting today. And from all indication, all the key monetary policy ratios are remaining constant. And that itself gives some respite as far as the market is concerned. But for our first-time viewers, before we tell you the other things that we'll be sharing with you on the program this evening, the 2 platforms on your screen also helps us to give direction to the program. This is basically our strength, and this is what has also helped us to remain on air in the last 13 years. And all I will be asking you, just let us know the area of interest or the area of concern or the areas that you want to know much more as far as the market is concerned. Time permitting, certainly you can be rest assured that we'll aggregate all those issues and then present them in subsequent edition without necessarily having to give one-on-one answers to all the issues that are on stake. But let's also quickly mention that on the program this evening, we'll be looking at what the month of December is also likely to bring on the table. We already told you the possibility of the month of November going either way, but much more of positive. But what is the month of December likely to bring? Because one of the things that you also hear from a number of investors is, oh, December, school fees, Christmas, and all the costs usually coming in month of December. But will that really be correct? Also on the program, talking about our regulars, we'll be looking at 2 corporate results, and you'll be amazed as to the contrasting nature of the 2 companies that will be presenting on the program this evening. We also have our notice board, we also have Company of the Week, and we have many more. But if you think that because you've heard the summary, you don't have any need to be part of the program for the next 60 minutes, I will also be confirming to you that that position will not be correct. So it's on that note that I will be urging you, relax, because not only will you be informed, certainly entertainment will come your way in presenting those information as well. It's also on that note that we'll be taking our first break, and when we come back, we'll be telling you much more. Please stay tuned.
It's your life, choose your way, choose your way. Do you know?
Nigeria's first fully digital bank, Alat, powered by Wema Bank.
New Sensodyne Deep Clean Toothpaste for advanced cleaning and lasting freshness.
Sensitivity is a short, sharp pain that people experience when they have something hot or cold getting to the nerve of the tooth. Dentists recommend Sensodyne. It's able to calm the nerve of the tooth. It works.
If your dream is big enough, how do you know the time is right?
Leaving Lagos to start a farm?
Are you normal? Ah! I forged ahead with confidence. I stayed chilled, and now I've gone far. When your dreams test you, stay chilled, stay Premier Cool.
You're welcome back. Let's look at what the month or the week ended November 22nd is looking like in terms of performance. But from all indication, we seem to have some challenges, but we hope we're able to get around those challenges. Talking about the week ended 22nd of, probably before then, let's look at market development while giving us a better position as to how the week ended. And talking about market development, let's also mention that in 2014, interestingly, Starcom was delisted, and Starcom's position is one in which investors are not expecting to get any monies because of the delisting. And however, in 2016, which is 2 years after, for the same period, we also had 8 companies delisted. And interestingly, that included Nigerian Ropes, Costain West Africa, Leonards, and Premier Breweries. We can confirm to you that as against what happened in Starcom, investors are not likely to lose their monies in the 4 companies that I mentioned already. And from all indication, Costain may also be back in one form or the other. But looking at what the market did end, starting from the NASD end, that will come back now. Starting from the NASD end, we have a situation where the NASD had the NASD, from all indication, did post a drop in terms of the index. And this is principally as a result of the Niger Delta going down by 25 naira, and that's resulted in almost a 8% drop in terms of market capitalization of Niger Delta, while UBN properties also dropped by 14 kobo, and that also resulted in almost 8.6% drop in terms of market capitalization. CSCS, the only company that appreciated in the week, managed to go up by 1%, and that itself was less than 0.1% appreciation in the price. But let's go back from all indication to how the market did end in the for the week ended 22nd of November 2019. From all indication, you also will find for 5 straight years, 2008 to 2012, the market did close negative, and that itself is repeating itself in 2014 to 2017, 2016, with the market closing negative, and then the market being positive in 2017, and then negative in 2018, and before being positive in 2019. And from all indication, if you also look at that chart, you will find that other than 2018, 2017, and then 2013, in terms of the value traded, literally every other year was less than 20 billion naira worth. But it must also be mentioned that in 2007, with 54.3 billion, and 2008 at 21 billion, those other years also joined the 3 in finishing the month, or in finishing the week in those years in excess of 20 billion naira worth. And for the next chart, which is a more detailed position as to how the market did perform, you will find that yes, the market in the week did close positive at 0.52%, but that didn't stop the banking subsector from finishing negative, at 0.86%, and the industrial subsector also finishing negative at 2.25%, and the premium sector also finishing negative. What this then entails is that yes, the premium sector remained the only sector that is positive at 1.24%. But looking at the construction subsector, you'll find that 2016 to 2019, 4 straight years, that sector basically positive, while the industrial subsector was negative, just like the pension subsector for 2014 to 2016, and then 3 years. That is 3 straight years, but also positive in the last 3 years, 2017 to 2019. So that is basically the picture that the market did post in the week under review. But let's also quickly mention that from all indication, which is the next chart that we'll be sharing with you, despite all of this, the market still continue to struggle in terms of the size of the inactive sector. And the inactive sector are the number of companies week in, week out that don't have any appreciation coming their way as far as the market is concerned. Yes, only 102 companies didn't have price gain or price drop in the week under review, which happens to be the lowest between 2010 and 2019. Because ironically, in 2011, you find over 200 companies, 203 to be specific, dropping price, remaining stagnant rather in that year. But while the chart is on, let's also quickly mention that in 2019, talking about market development, we had the situation where for investors in Dangote Flour, that company has since been delisted, and that also means that the countdown for as to when you need to collect your money have also started. Unfortunately for us as a people, when companies also get delisted, the monies that should go to the investors is also treated as if it's unclaimed dividend, which also means that 12 years after, that money becomes status bar, which means you will never have access to such money. So it's important that efforts is made to claim the money now that they are fresh. But in Dangote, while Dangote Flour is leaving the market, we can also inform you that 2 other companies are also strengthening their position, and the strengthening is via the way of rights issue. First, Red Star rights issue is in the market, and Red Star is offering its rights issue at 4 naira. And don't also forget that the market price for Red Star is 4 naira 45 kobo, which means there's a premium of 45 kobo. While for C&I Leasing, that is also offering its rights issue at 6 naira, the market price is 6 naira 60 kobo. So there are also opportunities for investors to pick up additional shares should they desire to do so. It's on that promising note or that strengthening note that we'll then be taking another break. And when we come back after the break, we'll be looking at the companies that help to give that momentum to the direction that we talked about earlier as far as the Nigerian capital market is concerned. Please stay tuned.
Sterling Bank, we believe that the world should revolve around you. That's why we've created a banking system that does just that. A system where you're constantly met at your point of need, and where we treat you like you're the only one that matters. Sterling Bank, the one customer bank.
about to have the best miyan taushe they have ever tasted. How do I know? My new Dangote seasoning cube brings out the best flavor.
The new Dangote seasoning is just perfect for my miyan kubewa. The aroma and the flavor is simply amazing.
Mesuya, why is suya too sweet like this?
Since the time I dey use am for Dangote seasoning, I dey put am for my yaji. Then it make my suya correct, kuma it dey on point. That is why I see people that they even come buy this suya all the time.
Mesuya, give me 200 naira.
The one where you chew, I be done pass 200 naira, pa.
Introducing the new Dangote seasoning to give every meal that rich, distinct taste and flavor that your whole family will love.
To the left, and to
the new Dangote seasoning cube is the real deal. Try it today.
A continent on the move needs a bank on the move. By continually evolving to deliver greater speed, superior value, and by connecting entrepreneurs with opportunities globally. Get on board. Let's take tomorrow. Access Bank. Speed, service, security.
You're welcome back. And if you're just joining us, the program is Stock and Shares. Looking at the position of the NASE in terms of the companies that help to push direction, we can confirm to you that in the week under review, we had 40 companies appreciating in share price as against 23 going south. And leading the pack happens to be Nestle. Nestle went up by 10 naira, and that by 100 naira. And that's basically, I take that again. Nestle went up by 1,000 naira, and that basically helped to push Nestle to the top. Ironically, that hold was gained on the last trading day of the week. For corn oil, that has been on for the second consecutive week now. Corn oil went up a distant second, finishing 3 naira 10 kobo up to amass a 20.2% in terms of its market capitalization. For Guinness, Guinness went up by 2 naira 40 kobo. Guinness the previous week had gone up by 5 naira 30 kobo to be the best performing stock. For Forte oil, it went up by 2 naira 20 kobo, having done 1 naira 50 kobo on the last trading day of the week. While for Okomu oil, he added 2 naira 5 kobo to his share price in the week, but of that amount, 500 kobo or 5 naira was all that he gained on the last trading day of the week. But for Stanbic IBTC and Nigerian breweries that went up by 2 naira respectively, Stanbic IBTC interestingly was coming in from a 1 naira gain the previous week, while Nigerian breweries was coming in from a 2 naira gain the previous week when they finished 9th and 3rd respectively. But it must also be mentioned that for Nigerian breweries, it did drop by 1 naira on the last trading day of the week. For Flour Mills of Nigeria, he added almost 10% to its market capitalization, having gone up by 1 naira 60 kobo in the week under review. The previous week, the company was up by 1 naira 5 kobo when it finished 8th. While for Dangote Sugar, it went up by 1 naira 5 kobo, and ironically, the previous week it was up by 1 naira 75 kobo. And the 1 naira 5 kobo gain in the week did happen despite a 35 kobo drop on the last trading day of the week. While for FBN Holding, that gained 65 kobo. The previous week, it was up by 1 naira 5 kobo, and on the last trading day of the week, the previous week rather, or 2 weeks earlier, the company was also up by 50 kobo to finish 7th. But of note in the week under review, before we look at the world stock, is the fact that Nimet had a massive rally in the week, going up by 40%, having gained 16 kobo. Cornerstone going up by 22 kobo to add 35.5% to its market capitalization. Champs gaining 9 kobo to add 33.1% to its market capitalization, and Ikeja Hotel that gained 30 kobo to add 31.6% to its market capitalization. But on the downside, or probably before the downside, let's also mention here that at the end of trading today, we had a situation where Dangote Sugar added 80 kobo to its share price to close at 14 naira 60 kobo, while Nigerian breweries that went up by 40 kobo to close at 50 naira 90 kobo. Flour Mills of Nigeria added 35 kobo to its share price to close at 18 naira 20 kobo. Fixing Healthcare did go up by 25 kobo to close at 3 naira 75 kobo, and GT Bank added 20 kobo to its share price to close at 29 naira 80 kobo. But on top of what you have on the screen is that at the end of market today, there also has 17 companies dropping, like we mentioned earlier. MTN did drop by 2 naira to close at 118 naira. While Unilever went down by 1 naira 15 kobo to close at 16 naira 30 kobo. Access Bank did drop by 50 kobo to close at 9 naira 30 kobo. While Dangote Cement did drop by 40 kobo to close at 144 naira. But in the week under review, like I mentioned, I had 23 companies dropping in share price. We can also confirm to you that Airtel did drop by 9 naira 20 kobo as a result of the adjustment for the interim dividend. While Unilever that went down by 1 naira 5 kobo, did shed 5.7% in terms of market capitalization. It must also be noted that the previous week, the company had also gone down by 1 naira 10 kobo ahead of the 7 naira drop that it posted the previous week. For CCNN, it was basically coming down from a 2 naira 50 kobo gain that it posted the previous week. But for CCNN, we can also mention that it did gain 1 naira on the last trading day of the week, but that didn't stop it from dropping by 1 naira at the end of the week. While for MTN, the previous week, it had also dropped by 1 naira to continue the dropping that also saw it drop by 1 naira in the week under review. National Salt, or former National Salt, now Natcon, did drop 5.7% in terms of market capitalization, courtesy of the 85 kobo drop that I posted in share price. But let's also quickly mention that for Lafarge, it did drop by 10 kobo on the last trading day of the week to take the total drop to 60 kobo, while Dangote Cement did drop by 50 kobo also on the last trading day of the week to also post a 50 kobo drop at the end of the week. But for ETI, despite gaining 5 kobo on the last trading day of the week, it still went down by 45 kobo to take its market capitalization drop to 6% down, while Access Bank that went down by 10 kobo had 45 kobo as the total drop that it posted in the week under review. Zenith Bank, on the other hand, went up by 5 kobo on the last trading day of the week, but still closed 20 kobo down, basically partly reversing the 1 naira 70 kobo gain that I posted the previous week. But looking at the market in terms of performances, one of the things that you will find, which is the next chart I'll be sharing with you, is that the banking subsector continues to dominate, and certainly this will continue except there is a major comeback, if you like, from the insurance subsector, because on the top 12 we have the situation where 7 of them happens to be from the banking subsector, and not only that, the size that they also brought on the table was one that was big, because other than UAC, that spring the surprise in the week under review, the first 5 finishers will have been in the banking subsector. But again, looking at the big ticket, looking at the big value, which itself is a combination of price and volume, as against volume only for the big value. What you will find is that MTN, that was the 12th finisher in terms of volume, basically topped the charts, going up, having recorded almost over 3 billion in terms of transaction, while Zenith Bank, incidentally, that is finishing 4th in terms of volume, is finishing 2nd in terms of value. GT Bank, that was also finishing 6th in terms of volume, is finishing 3rd in terms of value. But in all, we have 5 banks basically leading the pack of 12 in terms of the big value. So that is basically the summary of what the market had to offer in the week ended 22nd of November 2019. It's also on that note that we take a break, and when we come back, we'll be looking at what is the month of December likely to bring on the table in terms of direction of the market. Please stay tuned.
There is a reason Africa is called the new frontier. What was once potential is now an opportunity ready to be seized. Once revered for our resources, today's wealth lies in our people. People who build the cities that shape the future. People who know an idea in one place means business in another. A generation for whom technology means there are no borders, no boundaries. We are the new lions in a brave new world, kings of the urban jungle. And there's a bank that puts the world in our pocket and the future in our hands. UBA, Africa's global bank.
There's something every mother has. It's something like a sixth sense, like knowing exactly when her baby's in danger. It doesn't matter where she is or what she's doing. She carries her family in her heart always and knows when all is not well, even when it appears like she might be wrong. A mother's instincts are hardly ever wrong. And she trusts M&B paracetamol, the red one, to save the day. With fast-acting and effective M&B paracetamol tablet, the red one, and its pleasant-tasting pineapple flavor syrup, she sends aches and pains far away from her family. Because mothers who know trust May and Baker for its over 70 years of quality experience. If symptoms persist after 2 days, consult your doctor. M&B paracetamol. Pain can't stop you.
Our customers are focused, versatile, superheroes. Our customers are also the most important people in our world. So we listen, partner, and give solutions that make a difference in their world. At First Bank, we will always put you first.
You first. First Bank.
You're welcome back. And if you just joined us, the program is Stock and Shares. Let's look at the month of December. First, what is the likely direction that the month of December will bring? From what you find on the screen, don't join those believers who tells you that the month of December always goes down as far as the index is concerned. That is not a fact. Because looking at the chart, you will find that since 2009 to date, the month of December had always closed positive. The last time that the month of December closed negative was in 2008, when it went down by 4.72%. Before then, 2003 to 2005, it did go down by 1.61, thereafter 1.29, thereafter 1.11. And then in 2001, we also had a situation where the market did close December 1.32 negative. But if you then look at the month, much more importantly, if you look at the years ending in 9, you will find that in 1999, the market did close positive at 2.6. In 1989, the market did close positive at 4.53. And like I mentioned, in 2009, the market also did close positive. And should that trend be continued, it is most likely that the 2019 will also be closing positive. But that is not to say that in terms of yield to date, as at end of December, December has also had a mixed coloration as to how it does close in terms of yield to date. Because even if 2019 does close positive in the month of December, it's not too certain that between now and 31st of December, that the yield to date that is standing at a negative of 14 will be made good to become positive. But then looking at the volume and value traded, and that is where the mix-up usually comes from, and it's important that we share this with you. Other than 2007 and 2008, when 165 billion naira worth of shares were traded, that is 2007, and 421 billion of shares were traded in 2008. In no other year had the month of December had anything close to that. The best that had happened is the 129 billion that was traded in 2014, and then 240 billion naira worth that was traded in 2017. Even at that, 2014, with 11.85 billion unit of shares being traded, still remains the best in the month of December. So, like I mentioned, the difficulty is the volume that is traded in the month of December vis-a-vis the value versus what the direction that the index usually will also put up. So let's be mindful of this. But if you also look at the month of December, even in the years where we had huge gains, because in 2009, like I mentioned, the index did go up by almost 0.9, but in 2009, the volume and value traded were all below 8 billion, both in terms of volume and 8 billion naira in terms of value. It's also on that note that we then take another break. And when we do return after the break, we'll be looking at what the two companies on parade and talking about corporate results has to offer the Nigerian investors. Please stay tuned.
For them through everything, especially the big moments. That is why I'm happy with Alert Savings Goals. It helps me save more and meets my expectations. My name is Anita and I use Alert.
Alert, powered by Wema Bank.
New Sensodyne Deep Clean Toothpaste for advanced cleaning and lasting freshness.
Sensitivity is a short, sharp pain that people experience when they have something hot or cold getting to the nerve of the tooth. Dentists recommend Sensodyne. It's able to calm the nerve of the tooth. It works.
There's something every mother has. It's something like a sixth sense, like knowing exactly when her baby's in danger. It doesn't matter where she is or what she's doing. She carries her family in her heart always and knows when all is not well, even when it appears like she might be wrong. A mother's instincts are hardly ever wrong. And she trusts M&B paracetamol, the red one, to save the day. With fast-acting and effective M&B paracetamol tablet, the red one, and its pleasant-tasting pineapple flavor syrup, she sends aches and pains far away from her family. Because mothers who know trust May & Baker for its over 70 years of quality experience. If symptoms persist after 2 days, consult your doctor. M&B paracetamol. Pain can't stop you.
A continent on the move needs a bank on the move. By continually evolving to deliver greater speed, superior value, and ever more efficient, more responsible solutions. And by connecting entrepreneurs with opportunities globally, Axis Bank is transforming lives and businesses across Africa and beyond. Get on board. Let's take tomorrow. Axis Bank. Speed, service, security.
You're welcome back. If you just joined us, the program is Stock and Shares. Looking at the two companies on parade, first let's start with Omatech Venture PLC. For Omatech Venture, the over 5,000 shareholders thought the end had come of Omatech because 2015 to 2018, there was no audited results. That is 4 straight years coming in. However, all of that has since changed. But looking at 12 months ended December 2018 versus 12 months ended September 2019. Again, this is deliberate. You will find that, yes, in 2019, no revenue at all. But in 2018, the revenue was 18 million naira. And then you begin to wonder, how will the company cope? And that basically explains the loss that was posted of almost 1.2 billion in 2018 as against 879 million in 2019. And that again basically explains the improvement in the negative earnings as against 39.5 kobo in 2018. The negative is less than 30 kobo by September 2019. And for the 5,481 shareholders, they still have to cope with the fact that the share price basically remained at 50 kobo. And this has been the case since 2011. Like I mentioned, the fact that the audited results are now surfacing means that there's some light at the end of the tunnel. But for the second company on parade, which happens to be Red Star Express PLC, again, following the clamor by viewers, we can confirm to you that the 12 months ended September 2019 as against September 2018 is indicating that the top line went up from 9.2 billion to 10.4 billion. However, the profit after tax didn't take the same trend because of a profit after tax almost 500 million in 2018 is standing at close to 400 million as at end of September 2019. And that basically explained the drop in earnings from 82.3 kobo to 65.3 kobo. However, in terms of dividend, the dividend did go up after 2 years of 40 kobo. The company in 2019 offered its shareholders a dividend of 43 kobo. The waiting period, however, did go up from a little over 5.5 years to over 6.5 years. But the interesting thing for the company is the fact that in terms of the average dividend in the last 5 years, the average dividend has remained at 40 kobo. And following the forecast, which we also, probably before the forecast, let's quickly mention that in terms of dividend yield, at 43 kobo, the dividend yield was standing at 7.53%. In 2018, the dividend of 40 kobo also meant a dividend yield of 7.5%. In 2017, a dividend of 40 kobo, the yield was 9.7%. But post-offer, we can also confirm to you, yes, the earnings will be, on current performance, the earnings will be 41 kobo, and which also means that with a 45 kobo dividend on a 4 naira right issue, the yield will be in excess of 11.2%, which itself is comparable with a number of money market instruments now. But if you also isn't too convinced as to why the yield will be standing in the pattern that we just mentioned, in 2011, we had the share price of the company closed at 2 naira 39 kobo, and that climbed to 3 naira by 2012, and then doing a 4 naira 42 kobo by 2013, but dropping to 3 naira 94 kobo by 2014, and quickly to 4 naira 5 kobo by 2015. By 2016, it was 4 naira 40 kobo. By 2017, 5 naira 12 kobo, and then 4 naira 20 kobo by 2018. And ironically, in September 2018, the share price was 4 naira 50 kobo, and currently standing at 4 naira 45 kobo. For a company that in the last 52 weeks have also done a low of 4 naira 5 kobo and a high of 5 naira 71 kobo. So that is basically the picture of the two companies on parade on the program. But let's also quickly mention for investors in the company, because we also have a few persons who have also mentioned that they are yet to get their right circular. We think that this you can also download from the website of the registrar or from the website of the company. It's also on that note that we'll be taking another break, and when we do return, we'll literally be sharing with you the company of the week. Please stay tuned.
There is a reason Africa is called the new frontier. What was once potential is now an opportunity ready to be seized. once revered for our resources, today's wealth lies in our people. People who build the cities that shape the future. People who know an idea in one place means business in another. A generation for whom technology means there are no borders, no boundaries. We are the new lions in a brave new world, kings of the urban jungle. And there's a bank that puts the world in our pocket and the future in our hands. UBA, Africa's global bank.
How do you know if your dream is big enough? How do you know the time is right?
Leaving Lagos to start a farm? Are you normal? Ah!
I forged ahead with confidence. I stayed chilled, and now I've gone far. When your dreams test you, stay chilled, stay Premier Cool.
Hey, don't forget the stage, all right?
Get used to the attention, because at Sterling Bank, we cater to one customer, and that customer is you. Sterling Bank, the one customer.
For every uncertainty that life presents on a daily basis, there is only one cover you can be sure of: the Sovereign Trust Insurance PLC cover. We have all it takes to give you the assurance that life can be perfect, even in the midst of uncertainty. Come under our cover today and put life's uncertainty behind you. Sovereign Trust Insurance PLC. We've got you covered.
You're welcome back. And if you just joined us, the program is Stock and Shares. Let's let you into the company of the week. And for the company of the week, AG Leventis PLC. And if you're wondering why, AG Leventis used to be the embodiment of Leventis Technical, Leventis Motors, Leventis Stores, and interestingly, those three were listed before AG Leventis came on the table. And AG Leventis is basically ending 41 years of it being listed on the Nigerian Stock Exchange. But what qualifies it as the company of the week is the fact that the company had proposed to its shareholders that they were going to exit the market, paying the shareholders 53 kobo. And then negotiation resulted in AG Leventis agreeing to pay 70 kobo, which means a 17 kobo markup. Don't also forget that AG Leventis' current market price is 30 kobo. So it's the gentlemanly negotiation that ends the Nigerian investors a better sum that qualifies AG Leventis for the company of the week. It's also on that sweet note, if you like, that we also want to end the program this evening But if you are also a first-time viewer, even when we say good night, we still have something to share with you. So ask that you take away our takeaway, or if you prefer the language, take away the bonus, and then we'll see you next week by God's grace. Good evening again, and see you next week.
Sure thing, sweetie. Get your shoes and we go.
Promise?
You have my word.
Daddy!
You know I wouldn't leave without you, my princess.
There's nothing more important than a promise. We are Fidelity. We keep our word.
For 3 decades, people world over have improved their health and well-being by its rich ingredients. A unique blend of essential amino acids, multivitamins, and minerals specially formulated to combat stress and fatigue. The golden promise of Astamine is being enjoyed by more and more people who have found the deepest secret of living life at its peak. Astamine. Get healthier.